So, with Team of the Year voting starting up this week, I wanted to give my opinion on who I thought could be a Team of the Year player. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I completely am going to butcher the offensive line because I don't really know which offensive lineman is the best, and based on statistics or looking back, you can't really tell. Good thing about offensive line is you find out when they're good or bad based on if you hear their name or not. If you hear an offensive lineman name a lot, probably that offensive lineman was struggling a lot during the season, and he's a problem. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the first part we have here. So the quarterback, I think by far, is going to be Dak Prescott. I mean, it can't be Lamar Jackson. He's going to get an MVP card. It can't be... Who else would we have on the list? I don't think it's going to be Tua. Obviously, it's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. He has a card now. Joe Burrow was out for the season. And again, Dak Prescott could have won MVP. He was on the MVP race. So, I think he'll be the quarterback. Running back, Raheem Mostert really makes me think it's going to be him. He had 18 touchdowns in 1,000 yards. Kyron Williams had a fantastic rookie season as well. Derrick Henry played amazing. But Derrick Henry does have a 94 overall. But again, like I said, very possible. Could be any of those running backs. Wide receivers, here I have Tyreek Hill, who I know has a 94 overall card. Keep in mind, I think Team of the Year will be 96, 90. I'm going to say 97, 98. Let me see. So last year, what was Team of the Year last year? Because last year, they started the whole do Team of the Year later on in the year. Like during this time, so that you can get like higher overall cards. Okay, that's not the Team of the Year we want. Last year, they were 98s, and one was a 99. Okay, so we had limited time MVP, and the rest of them were 98s, and, yeah, 98s. So, 94 means absolutely nothing. If he has a 94, he could easily get a 98. It's not a question. Tyreek Hill had one of the best seasons. Could have won MVP. Mike Evans, another guy who could have won, not MVP, but fantastic season. Actually had the most touchdowns of any receiver in the NFL. Amon St. Brown is also on the list. And CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's another guy that could potentially have won or get this when it comes to that. Evan Ingram is up there. Mark Andrews missed half the season, so don't think Mark Andrews would. Travis Kelce's another guy that potentially, although I think, yeah, Kelce has a 95, but he could easily get a 98. Keep in mind that they're going to release the voting later on this week, and then they're going to pick players based on who people vote for. So, even if you're like, whoa, he won't get a card because you know what, EA would give this guy a card, he just had a card. Keep in mind that this is based on the voting system and not based on just EA Sports wanting to give this player or that player a card. So, for the offensive line, right tackle, Lane Johnson. Right guard, Zach Martin. Joe Antonio, and Trent Williams, and Creed Humphrey. I could see Creed Humphrey getting it and Trent Williams. I don't know about Joe Antonio because I think the Browns' offensive line, for the most part, got hurt this year, I believe. Zach Martin, maybe. And then Lane Johnson. So, that's kind of my makeshift offensive line. I know I'm completely wrong on that because there's so many good offensive linemen in the game that played really great this year. I just can't think of any of them for some reason. Alright, so for defense, we start off with DeJuan Bland. He's 100% got to be a card. I mean, the guy had the most pick sixes of any corner in the NFL. After the injuries they've had on the Cowboys defensive secondary, he stepped up, was an absolute monster, and he just had everything you could ever want. Record breaker, literally. So, he's going to be it. I have Derek Stingley Jr., who also had a great season, as my second Team of the Year corner. Defensive line, if he does not get it, I'm rioting. I am actually rioting because, first off, Trey Hendrickson, amazing season. I think he had, 17 and a half sacks. Just went freaking off. Had some injuries he dealt with throughout the season. Still came back and played just as good, if not better than ever. Absolute menace to the NFL when it comes to offensive lines. Freaking love Hendrickson, so 100%. Chris Jones had a fantastic season. And Nico Autry for the Tennessee Titans. Actually, he's going to be a free agent, I believe. He also had a fantastic season, so he's another player I would put on that list. And then for our linebacking core and safeties, I have Geno Stone here because I feel like he has to get a card. He had the second most interceptions, 7 interceptions this year, went absolutely freaking off. A guy that a lot of people did not expect to go off this season, and helped lead that, honestly, one of the best defenses in this century with that Ravens defense this year that was absolutely just killer. Then we have TJ Watt, who honestly got snubbed. Him and Micah Parsons, who got snubbed for for Defensive Player of the Year, because Myles Garrett, the guy who didn't show up in the last 8 games of the year, somehow got that, but it was not TJ Watt or Micah Parsons. So 100%, both of them deserve a card for Team of the Year. Both of them had fantastic seasons and went off. Roquan Smith, probably the best linebacker of this year, to be honest. Fred Warner, also up there on the list. And then I had to include Jesse Bates. And that's not me just being a Bengals fan here and loving Jesse. This is literally like, it would be criminal not to have him on there. I don't think I've ever seen a free agent go from obviously go from one team, become a free agent, go to another team, and be as successful as Jesse Bates has been this season. He has the most interceptions of the year. I think second most, actually, I want to say. No, I think it is the most. He's either 1, 2, or 3. But just pick 6 after pick 6. He has been everything the Falcons could ever have dreamed of. And all their money that they paid him isn't even worth 1/5 of what they owe him for how amazing of a player he truly is. And I do miss him. Trust me, I do miss him in Cincinnati. Really great in our run support game. And now we're just kind of struggling without him. But with that being said, though, these are my predictions. Again, like I said, we're going to get a list of Team of the Year players from EA Sports later this week. So we'll kind of see exactly who could be on that list. Again, I just want to give my early predictions. Sometimes I like to do this, even when I'm going to probably be proven wrong on half of these guys. I think everyone on this list here on offense and defense will be on a Team of the Year voting. I believe. I don't think any of the guys that are listed here are just going to completely be snubbed out of Team of the Year voting. Because again, all these guys I've listed here, they had fantastic seasons. Maybe they didn't have the best season of all time, but they definitely had a good enough season that they deserve to be on the Team of the Year. I feel like the one player they're not going to have is Nico Autry. And that would make sense. But he has an 81 overall card. Come on, give the man an upgrade. That's kind of how I look at it. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.